Hello everyone and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. It is so good to be with you today. My name is Amy and I'll be with you for the show, and we are starting off here at Madikwe Game Reserve at Tau Game Lodge Waterhole with a wonderful herd of zebra. This is beautiful. I don't think I've seen so many together for quite a long time, and they are quite dazzling if I don't say so myself. If you have any comments and questions, feel free to send them through to me. This is a live and interactive show, and I'd love to hear from you. So you can do that through our WhatsApp line. You can just add the number that's on the screen now as a contact and then send through any comments and questions that you may have. You can also chat to us through the Wild Earth website or the app. You can also use the Wild Earth chat stream on YouTube, as well as join the conversation on X using the hashtag Wild Earth. Now it looks like a lovely day here in the northwest of South Africa. A few animals hanging out here at the waterhole. Those beautiful yellow flowers are still around. It's going to be interesting to take note of exactly when sort of the flowers start disappearing, when the vegetation starts to change. I mean, we are in the last week of April. Can you believe it? There are some springbuck moving around, as well as some waterbuck in the foreground, busy sitting and ruminating. I think they like that spot. They were there yesterday as well. Wildlife Lady, hello, good afternoon to you. You are looking forward to see what we can find at the waterholes today. It is always exciting, isn't it? Because you don't know what might pop up. I had no idea we'd be starting off with such a beautiful scene here at Tau. I mean, just to see zebras, the springbuck moving across, it is quite stunning, really. There's an impala as well sitting there. And most likely we'll see some elephants, if not now, later on at Tau. They do tend to make an appearance, at least once in this sort of time frame. In the first 2 hours or so of the afternoon, there seem to be herds that regularly come for a drink. And this is another great time for those of you who are always wondering between springbuck and impala, what the difference is. This is a perfect opportunity to see the two within the same frame, and actually rather different from each other completely. But when you sort of have isolated one and the other, it can be difficult because of sort of the medium size and often preyed upon by a lot of the same things. But impala are slightly larger, and they lack that sort of dark stripe down the side, across the side of their bodies. Lorraine, you love that there's always something interesting here at Tau. Me too. Always something to look at, whether we are scanning around doing some birding or looking for the crocs that lurk in the water. Ah, there's an elephant. I thought maybe one should be around here somewhere. And he doesn't have any strange pigmentation or anything like that. If any of you were wondering why his trunk was lighter in color, that's simply just the soil that he's been digging about in sometime earlier today. It's now dried off. Hans, fantastic question. Thank you so much for sending it through. You want to know, how do reserves avoid interbreeding between antelopes? So Hans, naturally, nature sort of takes care of that with having different species. So impala completely belong to their own group, as well as springbuck belonging to their own group. For example, that impala there is just busy doing a phlegm and grimace actually. I don't know if everyone saw that at the bottom left of the screen. But where interbreeding can happen is with antelopes or species, even zebras, that are still part of the same family group, but different subspecies, or even different species but occur within the same sort of group or family. For example, if you look at spiral-horned antelope, although it's not common, and something we actually chatted a little while ago about the interbreeding between kudu and nyala, but that's not something that occurs naturally in the wild. But it is possible, but not to last many generations, and it was actually proven that it wasn't effective to try and breed that, as they didn't continue to create a new species or something like that. But I do believe interspecies breeding has happened between the likes of like mountain zebra and plain zebra, for example. And the reason something like that would happen, Hans, is because of not enough of one species for that species to find a mate. And so they will start turning to whatever within their species group, of course, because otherwise it won't work, in order to mate. So let's say there are plain zebras like we see here, but there's also mountain zebras, and there's not enough of the one species within an area. They don't find each other, but they rather find a mountain zebra that they then mate with, because there's a female in estrus, for example. And so reserves would avoid that by balancing numbers correctly, possibly avoiding having overlapping species that could interbreed, and that's sort of healthy conservation management. In that way, it is tricky to know always how to manage it correctly. It's not something that we see very, very often, but I do believe it can occur. But generally, in terms of keeping the species separate, you don't see that sort of interbreeding happening. Even if they are both antelopes, they don't breed with one another for various reasons. But as soon as you start going species specific, whether it's zebras or, like I said, spiral horn antelope, impalas fall completely on their own, so there wouldn't be any sort of communication between another antelope species and an impala, for example, because they don't match, if I could put it that way. Oh, there are some more drinking there. That's beautiful. But another way, Hans, that species are sort of kept from interbreeding, or subspecies at least, is also geographic separation. And it's why subspecies of particular species do happen, or occur, or have developed over time.
Join me, Andrew Wistenholm, for an indescribable 6-night stay in the beautiful Albany of the Eastern Cape at Amakhala Game Reserve. Now, this trip is going to be action-packed with a lot of storytelling, adventure, as well as the opportunity to make everlasting memories. We'll be exploring the best of Amakhala by staying at 2 luxury lodges, which will be the perfect blend of comfort as well as wilderness. Book your spot today, and let's get ready to explore the wild beauty of Amakhala.
South Africa's wild places are closer than you think, because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our FedAir lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild.
Would you like to know what an elephant's favourite food is? You could ask me questions like that in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive from the heart of Africa. The fortunas over here. Watch Safari Live and connect with nature.
Join the Wild Earth Explorers program and connect with a community passionate about wildlife. Support our mission to share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Your monthly contribution helps provide schools and children access to kids' safaris, fostering a love for nature in the next generation. Embrace the wonders of the bush and make a difference today. Wild Earth, connecting with nature.
I find it very calming to watch this elephant here, and just fascinated how they tear up the grass and flowers or whatever he's munching on there. It's so systematic, so experienced. The way he flicks off the dirt, using his foot there to scrape up little bits, loosen them slightly, making them easier to rip up. Penelope, who knows, maybe we will be able to see a croc here at Tau. It can be tricky sometimes with how well they camouflage, but I know that there was a beautiful crocodile at our dam cam at Jackie's earlier today too, sunning itself. Oh, he's on the move now. I wonder, maybe he's gonna come for some water. Togo, you'd like to know if, how old do I think this elephant is? Ooh, tricky to say, but he's definitely mature bull. You can see just by the size of his body, his tusks aren't that long, but they are quite thick already. However, his ears are still pretty perfect. They're not too tattered just yet. His temples aren't deeply sunken in at all. So I would say between the ages of maybe 20 to 30 years old. 25 plus maybe. But not as old as sort of 35, 40. I would think he's younger than that. I feel like he's teasing us. He walked all the way right to the water, and I think he's just gonna go on by. There are many wonderful water birds around this waterhole, and here we have a pair of white-faced whistling ducks, and you can see how that one, they're both just having a little snooze, tuck their bills away. And here the Egyptian geese, I can't believe how big those goslings are. You can see they're not quite as big as the adults just yet, or the adult that's there. Haven't got that dark ring around the eye just yet either. And this was the clutch, I remember. That was huge. I think there's well over 10 little ones that have survived, which is incredibly good survival rate. I don't know how many there were to begin with, but there's a lot of those little ones that mom and dad have been able to bring basically till fledging. We'll have a look to see if we can spot a croc.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart.
Hyenas love bathing.
Well, there we go, Penelope. We have found a croc here at Tau, and what a croc it is. I do think we've spent quite a bit of time with this particular individual, but unless there's some defining feature that someone has taken note of, I can't tell them apart, barring the fact that some are smaller than others. This does seem to be one of the larger ones, having a bit of a sunny, soaked day here on the bank. Very sleepy. Yes, Julian, hi. The white-faced whistling duck pair, they have at least 5 little ducklings. They're very successful breeding happening around Tau at the end of the summer, which is great. As well as, yes, there was a photobombing African jacana in the background. Those birds must be one of my favorites. I think they are so beautiful. Nina Brown, you would like to know how come crocodiles and other animals in Africa don't hibernate? So the reason they don't do it, Nina, is because the temperatures aren't extreme enough in Africa. The reason hibernation occurs in areas like North America is where it gets extremely, extremely cold. And animals, if they don't hibernate, they won't survive. So animals in Africa, there isn't, although the temperatures can swing from very cold to very hot, that's not as extreme as further north, or even south for that matter, but focusing on the likes of North America or even Northern Europe. There's no need, like for example bears, if they didn't hibernate in winter and completely slow down their bodily functions to a point where they basically are just above alive, then they wouldn't survive, you know, those bitterly cold and extreme weather conditions through the winter time. So that is why it doesn't occur in Africa. animals can survive all year. There's enough sort of food around for things like a crocodile to be able to, even as a reptile, to get energy even in winter time. They can become, we use the term especially for reptiles, estivation. It isn't quite hibernation, but they also slow down their body, lower their heart rate, their metabolism, their breathing, everything. And they can, I mean, especially a crocodile, I mean, they can literally eat once a year if they need to. So they also can survive in extreme conditions, but in terms of temperature wise, to go into complete hibernation isn't necessary. Oh, there's the little jacana. I just find the coloration, especially around the face, they sort of have that black line with the white up the cheek. Very elegant appearance, I would say. Like they've been painted. And what's interesting with jacanas is that it's actually the father, the male, that takes all the parental responsibility in raising its offspring. And the females are polyandrous, I think the term is. Basically, they will mate with multiple males, and the males will look after the eggs and the nest and all the rest, and the females go off and leave dad at home with the babies and have no role whatsoever. So it's also one of those fascinating things that's slightly different in comparison to the norms that we see in nature usually. Here's a grey heron. That's also quite the known resident here around Tau. Hopefully it'll start hunting soon, but clearly quite windy. All those feathers being ruffled by the breeze. Mindy, yes, it is quite difficult to sex crocodiles. They do look identical in terms of coloration. There's no real difference between male and female in that way. Males are generally larger than females. Now crocodiles can reach about 6 meters in length. The females around 4 meters, but of course young males will also be 4 meters. So unless you sort of know that 2 crocs are the same age, and then the one gets larger than the other one, then you'd be able to say that it's a male. But if you do get 2 together or in the same area and one is larger than the other one, difficult. You can't know for certain, but you can make a educated guess that the larger one is a male and the younger one is a female, but at the same time it could be a mother with a younger one that's still hanging around it. So it is difficult, Minnie. Oh, beautiful. A common moorhen there, with the large bit of red on the bill and the yellow tip. A much rarer, lesser moorhen cousin to this one is one that we very rarely see, and that has much more yellow on the bill in comparison to the red, and sort of pops out after very sort of heavy rain that forms temporary wetlands or shallow pans and things like that. They would have been around more in sort of Jan, Feb, when we had all that rainfall. This is such a great view of this beautiful little bird. They're often so hidden away. It's nice to have this clear view and such an amazing camera here to be able to get these close-ups, and you can just see how those feet, just like the jacana, aid it to move through the wet soils and even walk on the lily pads. Perfectly adapted to looking for the delicious treats it enjoys, lots of little aquatic creatures. A wildlife lady, yes, I do believe that is a common name for the African jacana. Lily trotters or even lily walkers, I believe they're also known as. I do think that's just the wind affecting the camera there, everyone, so I do apologize for that. Well, this has been so relaxing to watch this common moorhen doing its thing here. I believe there are some impalas at Cat Eye Pants, so let's go see what they're up to. Well, we'll have a little look around to see if they are still here. We had a lovely herd of elephants here yesterday, actually, and it was the first time I'd been to Qatar in quite a long time. But you can also just see what the weather is like in the Lowveld today. It's a bit cooler, I must say. Quite a lot of cloud cover. I thought there might be a drizzle at some point, but I don't think it's quite heavy enough to have any rainfall just yet. But slowly but surely the temperatures are dropping a little bit. Evenings and the mornings are definitely chillier. I have to have a fleece out with me. Well, it looks like these impalas have moved off from Qatar. We'll keep our eyes on this waterhole and see if anything else pops out. But I think for now we'll head over to Jackie's where there is a crocodile. Okay, rather than Jackie's, let's head over to Stony Point. Now, there was some movement here around this little penguin nest that we've been watching over the last few weeks. And we know that there's definitely an egg, maybe more than one, that the parents have been incubating here in this little rock cavity. And we just noticed some movement and thought maybe mom or dad would come out, or the other parent take over, or something like that, perhaps. For those of you who may not know, these are African penguins, and they are resident here along sort of the southwest coast of South Africa. Very, very cute. Now you can't see too much at the moment, but there is a little black and white penguin in there moving around. It looks like it's doing maybe some preening. And usually it's completely still, so when we see quite a bit of movement like this, you never know what may happen. Wonder if it's just repositioning the eggs, perhaps. And it's getting to that point. I'm trying to remember exactly when we first saw them heading in here and starting to create this nesting area. The incubation period is, I think, 38 days or so. Oh, hello. Is that one of the eggs? I think that was one of the eggs, everyone. I know they do have a white belly, but it looked like it sort of stood up and there was an egg underneath there.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Do you want to know why impala are the most common antelope we find here in the Kruger National Park? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live. Connect with nature.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions.
Animals rely on their senses.
Share your thoughts and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live. Wild Earth Travel would like to take you to Namibia and Botswana. Drift over the desert in a hot air balloon, then glide through the lush Okavango Delta in a dugout canoe. This extraordinary journey blends dramatic landscapes with outdoor adventures and unparalleled wildlife encounters. Discover Africa like never before. Book now with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Sorry about that, everyone. Our feed did freeze there, but we've come back over to Jackie's where there are 2 hippos and a crocodile enjoying the water. Let's head over to Victoria Falls. Oh wow, this is very cool. Here we have two bushbuck, male and female, as well as some white-backed vultures. They look like at least two younger ones. They tend to be a lot lighter in color, the juveniles. But this is very cool. How often do we get bushbuck on, wild earth in general, actually? You can see the difference there now between the male and female. And he was definitely giving her rear end a sniff. Perhaps interested in whether she's ready to mate with or not. And also earlier in the beginning we were talking about interspecies breeding and things like that. And bushbuck are another member of that spiral-horned antelope family. And so in, I suppose, very desperate times, the urge to mate, gets to a point where these animals would seek out anything that would sort of match them, inverted commas, or some sort of a smell that would appeal to them. And that could happen with Nyala, or even kudu, I suppose, although if it was a male, that would be a little bit more difficult size-wise. But you can see the similarities. I mean, even this bushbuck female looks very much, there's a kudu as well, very much like an Inyala female. They are slightly smaller in size, and usually no stripes, just dots. But every now and again those genes do come through and you see some stripes. And look how intently he's following her, not even interested in the water. Just like wherever you're going, I'm following you. And such beautiful markings on these male bushbucks as well. Very interesting because we don't see them that often. I don't think I've noticed the black and white or the darker color and white on the legs like that. They're the kudu that have come out. Oh wow, quite a few kudus. Goodness. Lovely to see.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
Conservation measures that exclusively protect a bushbuck, although they would be subsequently protected by these wild places and nature reserves and things like that, that could be in place to protect other endangered species, but as a byproduct of that, they are also protected. seems to be this kudu's cautiously approaching the water. Oh, I wonder if she's just going to move past. Alex, you want to know who or what started Earth Day? Now, for those of you who don't know, we actually celebrated Earth Day yesterday, but this entire week, Wild Earth is running Earth Week, and we are having different conservationists or people who work in conservation or some form or part of the industry joining on our sunset safaris and chatting about everything to do with the environment, with conservation and all the different aspects of it. But with regards to your question, Alex, I did have to look this up to make sure that I am giving you the correct info. But I believe that Earth Day is now celebrated on the 22nd of April every year, and basically to commemorate, celebrate, and continue the activism for a cleaner earth, cleaner air, protection of our environments, nature, and that all began in the 1970s. It was inspired, I believe, by student activism. That Senator Nelson in the US, he was from Wisconsin and was deeply concerned about the state of the environment and the impact of pollution and industrial waste. And it sort of inspired widespread protests and rallies among millions of Americans, and that sort of has taken on its role in the entire world today. And it also began the formation or creation, inspired the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, in America in the 1970s. And so since then, it's been celebrated on the 22nd of April. I must say, being part of Wild Earth and the show and the nature that we are able to connect you all with every day, it almost feels like every day is Earth Day when you're with Wild Earth, I must say. This kudu bull has particularly wide spirals, doesn't he? Very impressive set of horns. Well, as these kudus move off, we are going to head back to South Africa, to Tembe. Always such beautiful sounds here. Tembe, some impalas and Egyptian geese roaming around. Maybe we'll get some elephants eventually. Is that rain? Or am I just imagining it? It does look like it's a bit rainy, the weather. Oh, there's an Inyala popping out on the left there. Can actually see that this little impala is just probably 6 months old, and he's just starting to get his horns. So a young male was born in sort of early December, end of November last year. Is indeed raining. Look at those drops there. You can see them quite clearly now. It's amazing how the weather can change from one day to the next. But it looks lovely, like that really soft, soaking, gentle rain. And it also makes sense why there are fewer ellies here today. There's no need to come and cool off when you are permanently full of water falling from the sky. Alright, let's head back over to the bushbuck at Vic Falls. There we have this male bushbuck out in the open now. His turn to come for a drink. I think he was a bit preoccupied earlier. 2 oxpeckers just landing on him there. And really not an animal that we see out in the open almost ever, to be honest with you. They are named bushbuck for a reason, just like their cousins and nyalas and kudu, sticking to thickets because of what they eat. But more so, I would say, than kudus and inyalas. We see them sort of sticking to thicker areas. A lot of the moisture that they need comes from what they eat, but every now and again they do pop out to have a drink, which is lucky for us today.
Zitatamana wena, moya wa mina, ukomba wena, takuranza loko tamana wena.
It's been a great morning out and about and exploring.
That is amazing. It's very hard to explain what this feels like. Would you like to know at what age a buffalo calf gets its horns? These are questions that you can ask me in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
We are here with a male leopard.
Vegetation and plant communities and aid them in nutrient recycling is greater than the food that they provide for predators, which they do, but primarily their main impact that they are having is to do with the vegetation and nutrients. So there was a group of guinea fowls that came past there briefly, and I think that great egret is on the far side of the waterhole, busy looking for food. Coming back. Impala's popped out, but some guinea fowl are arriving there, I think, to have a drink. Looks like this impala is deciding to rather come to this puddle for a drink. Probably safer, relatively. I don't think there's any crocodiles this side, but very likely to be in the larger body of water. Computer enthusiasts, I'm so glad to hear that you feel that way. It is very relaxing, isn't it? Just the sounds the unscripted nature of nature is something that we can all enjoy. Well, as it seems the antelopes have all sort of moved off, and so are the guinea fowl. Let's head back over to the zebra at Tau. You could also sit and watch this all day. Peaceful to see zebras moving across the veld like this. Petojo, yes. There's very likely snakes around. Difficult to say exactly which ones, but I mean, they are active all year, although we do tend to see more snakes in summer just because of the fact that they are reptiles and they are more active when there's more sun. But because we are in Africa, there's often sun all year round and some very warm days in the winter too. So potentially dangerous snakes that one could see, like puff adders, cobras, mambas, and then there's some fairly harmless snakes like brown house snakes, spotted bush snake, yellow-bellied sand snake that one can also see. Pythons as well. A few night adders, vipers. Of course, regional based. Some of them won't occur here, but would occur in the low veld, or some particularly in the Cape that wouldn't occur elsewhere. But yes, to answer your question, there are snakes around all year. Oh, that looked like a very satisfying stretch. by that impala. Jane, hi. You would like to know how I would describe the summer we are slowly leaving behind. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, Jane, but in terms of sort of what I experienced this summer, I would say hot and wet is the summer that we had. In around November, end of November, early December last year, we had such a crazy heat wave in the Lowveld. It was redonkulous. Multiple days in the high 30s, low 40s. I remember going on drive, I think it was 45 degrees. It was overcast, but it was so humid, it was unbelievable. That was still at Juma. And then I came back in early January, and Liam and I were hit by those rains that filled up all the water holes. So that would be my description of this summer, which is not an unusual description for summers in the eastern half of South Africa. But I think particularly wet here with so much rain, I've just spent quite a bit of time up in the Waterberg Velgevonden Game Reserve, where they had a record amount of rain for this summer, and it's there's a lot of water that's even still flowing through mountains and things like that. So I hope that means that the drier season coming up, that there's plenty of water around all the way until the next rains come. There's another croc. I think a different one now. It's come out and lying here with its mouth open.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member today and unlock extras and bonuses, like ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in your safari without any interruption. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Join now to avoid missing out on these amazing benefits. Help us connect people to nature.
Would you like to know the difference between a male and female wildebeest? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Clearly on the hunt. Now, primarily marabou storks we associate with scavenging, but I have seen them before hunting fish like this. Seems to be one of their other favorite things to do. A little laughing dove calling there, named after that call actually. And a hoopoe. Ooh, pied kingfisher. There was one that just dropped down to hunt there. Oh, that marabou stork got some roots, it looked like. Oh, these bird calls are fantastic. Lots of birding activity all of a sudden. It sounded like those kingfishers were also at least maybe two of them. Ooh. Ooh, that marabou's got some things chasing. Very cool to see. Oh, there's a pied kingfisher flying. I think they're landing somewhere on the right. I don't know if we can see it at all, but they're very busy. I'm fascinated watching this stork. There we go, the kingfisher again. It's amazing how clear that call is when it comes through. It's definitely perching in that tree over there and then coming across when it sees something. I find the fishing ability of birds like the pied kingfisher absolutely incredible. Ooh, that was a little croc. Oh wow. It wasn't letting that stork come too close to it. Yes, Lady Macbeth, it is indeed a busy marabou. He's finding all sorts of things, or she actually, constantly, I think. Oh, getting very excited there, chasing something. Yes, spuss, they are actually known to not only be scavengers but also hunt other small mammals or fish, amphibians, whether it be a rodent or something like that. It is actually documented for them to be opportunistic predators as well. That is so cool. I am very much entertained by this little crocodile. It's quite cheeky actually. It's not going to be bullied by the stork. I mean, the one wouldn't really harm the other one, but it's definitely a little bit of a personal space bubble there. Looks like it's just taking a moment maybe to dry off or cool down, perhaps. That is an extremely impressive wingspan though. They are huge birds, standing over 1.5 meters in height. And the males are slightly bigger than the females, weighing up to 7 kgs. The females around 6. And the wingspan is 2.5 meters. That is huge. Darkmane lover, you'd like to know why bird legs are very skinny. I suppose they're skinny because they don't need to be bigger. They don't need to be stronger. They don't necessarily need bigger legs. And part of that is all about being very air fit, or as light as possible. So skinny legs helps them to weigh a lot less, which makes it easier to fly.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member and unlock exclusive bonuses and benefits. Enjoy uninterrupted, ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in nature. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Enjoy exclusive access to special broadcasts and videos, and help us to connect people to nature.
This week, we celebrate our planet and the power of nature. It's all about the drive to power our planet by harnessing nature's energy. Join us live as we explore the exciting world of wild power. Earth Week, only on Wild Earth.
Oh, I don't think I've actually seen a live baboon poop before, but I'm sure that one just pooped and it sort of fell down the side of the termite mound. Oh, it has a baby that's suckling too. It's all happening here. I feel like that baboon has the best spot in the house. He must be pretty chuffed, or her actually, I can't tell from this distance, but it's pretty chuffed with itself. And while in the Waterberg, I saw baboons doing very similar things, sitting on top of termite mounds, and it's definitely something they enjoy, having a bit of height. I'm not sure where the rest of the troop is. Usually baboons, you'll see them in, they can be very large groups, up to 30 plus individuals sometimes. Oh, lovely. Let's head over to the Eastern Cape and see some zebras. Well, it looks like they are approaching for a drink. I always find the colors here at Founders so striking, and I think it's because we're sort of on top of a hill and you have this sky in the background for quite a large bit of the screen, and this very rich red iron oxide rich soil that makes for just some beautiful views. And then of course the zebras being black and white, which is also very striking. Wildlife Lady, it's such a pleasure. I'm so glad that you've enjoyed today's live at the waterhole. We still have 15 minutes or so left. It's going to be interesting to see what else happens, but I'm very happy that these zebras are not moving away. I'd love for them to come to the water, but if they just stay there, they are very pretty to look at. Oh, that looks like a little Cape wagtail. I can just see the movement of the tail up and down. Oh, what a beautiful view of one in the sunlight like that. And the wagtails all have that sort of patch on the neck. One of the key things that you can notice about the different species that we get, the common ones anyway. The Cape is more sort of mousy brown grey. The pied is very much black and white, although the juveniles sometimes are a bit lighter, but then the habitat does give it away. And then lastly, the mountain wagtail, which is a beautiful sort of grey all over with the white. Stunning to see, and also very habitat specific. Oh, just look at that pattern. This particular zebra has a beautiful pattern on the back, actually reminding me a lot of a mountain zebra, but a little bit extended all the way up the back, whereas the mountain zebra is usually just above the tail. You sort of get this beautiful plait-like look that heads down towards the tail. Deb, you want to know if zebras smell badly? No, I've never noticed a strong scent on them. I don't know if anyone else has, but they do tend to have a lot of flatulence and release gas due to their hind-gut fermentation process. But even with elephants that, feed on vegetation, zebras on grass, we don't really get too much of a bad smell that we might associate with things like that.
We have just had our efforts paid off.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube Superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube Superfan community today. Step away from your daily stress and escape into nature with Wild Earth. Immerse yourself in the wilderness and become part of the natural landscape. Watch as everything comes alive. Join us as we slow down our thoughts, put aside our distractions, and reconnect with the wild. Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Sorry about that, everyone. Let's head to Tau. Well, it seems like we've had a lot of zebras today. I'm not complaining about that. Always lovely to spend more time with some different animals. Oh, there's a great egret too. I don't see that all the time here. I feel like we're going to see this egret find something to eat. It looks very focused. Incredible how still it keeps its body, and how little impact the steps have on the water. And it's part of why when you watch that foot come up, you can see how those toes, the 3 toes, all come together and form like a point. And that's all part of having as little impact on the water and the soil as possible when trying to sneak closer to something that they've spotted. I wonder if there's a croc moving on the left. I don't know, it seems like there were quite a few ripples actually. Maybe not, maybe it's just the wind. Wildlife Lady it is. It's beautiful scenery with these zebras, whether it's here at Tau or their founders, with the zebras and the scenery all around. It's just like I was saying earlier, to see groups of them together is so wonderful. They all seem to be following each other now. I'm not sure what the plan is. They're not really grazing at all. Don't know if they've just been having a little bit of a rest. And often standing like this, sort of top to tail, looking in different directions. As a group, they sort of work together to be aware in as many directions as possible. Ah, lovely to see some of them now deciding that it's time for a drink. And a wonderful way to end off our waterhole show today. Sparks, it's a pleasure. It's been wonderful to have you all on board, and to everyone who has joined in and sent through comments and questions, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to chat to you, and some interesting topics today that we've spoken about, which is always wonderful. Thank you, Darkmane Lover. It has been some wonderful sightings today. A lot of variety. I think seeing those bushbuck were probably my favorite. Really nice to see something different that we don't always get such good close-up views of. Now we will of course be back live again tomorrow, same time, same place, and I will be back with you for that as well. So I'm looking forward to see what tomorrow at the Waterhole holds. But first up this afternoon, in an hour's time, is the Sunset Safari live right here on Wild Earth. So do make sure that you stay tuned for that a little bit later. But from myself and the Waterhole team, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And we wish you a pleasant day or evening ahead, depending where you are in the world. And I'll see you all again tomorrow. Goodbye for now.